Going forward, the GTX will be used for all high-performance electric vehicles. Volkswagen introduced the ID.4 last fall and is now giving away a performance version of the electric SUV to formalize the GTX badge reserved for fast EVs. Keep in mind VW has used the GTX in the past for sporty versions of the Golf, Jetta, and Scirocco in some markets, and is now back for spicy vehicles that don't use combustion engines. Unlike the standard ID.4, which has to do with a single electric motor and rear-wheel drive, the GTX adds a front-mounted motor to allow for an all-PA setup. Horsepower jumped from 201 horsepower, 150 kilowatts, to 295 horsepower, 220 kilowatts, which is actually slightly less than the 302 HP output offered by the dual-motor setup mounted on the China-only ID.6, 3 rows of larger electric SUVs. As a result of added oomph, 0 to 62 miles per hour, 100 kilometers per hour, has dropped from a decent 8.5 seconds to 6.2 seconds, while top speed has increased from 99 miles per hour, 160 kilometers per hour, to 112 miles per hour, 180 kilometers. A clock. Perhaps the more relevant performance figure in everyday driving is 0 to 37 miles per hour, 60 kilometers per hour, in 3.2 seconds. As expected, the VW ID.4 GTX uses an AWD system that can be adjusted automatically as the electric SUV remains in its rear-wheel drive configuration until the onboard sensors detect more traction as needed. AWD also works when the driver decides to press the gas pedal harder for what onlookers from Wolfsburg describe as a sporty driving style. The switch from rear-wheel drive to all-wheel drive is done in a matter of milliseconds, and VW claims it's so smooth that drivers won't even notice. The ID.4 GTX uses standard 20-inch wheels which can be upgraded to an optional 21-inch set with 358mm brakes on the front axle. Some would be disappointed to find the rear axle still uses drum brakes even on the performance version, but that's not too surprising considering the luxurious Audi Q4 e-tron has a similar setup. Available at an additional cost, the optional sports package lowers the electric SUV by 15mm, 0.6 inches, and adds progressive steering to the mix for vibrant driving. Adaptive shock absorbers also come at an additional cost as part of the Sports Plus package to balance sportsmanship and comfort. Drivers can choose from Eco, Comfort, Sport, Individual and Traction modes. Weighing in at 1,071 pounds, 486 kilograms, the 77 kWh battery is the same lithium-ion package used by the regular ID.4. On the GTX, it offers a range of up to 298 miles, 480 kilometers, per WLTP. That's less than the 323 miles, 520 kilometers, delivered by the standard version, but that's to be expected considering the heavier performance version after adding the front electric motor. Once the battery is running low, fast charging at 125 kilowatts delivers a range of 186 miles, 300 kilometers, in half an hour. In terms of styling, VW has made efforts to separate the GTX derivative from its mainstream counterpart. The 3-dot vertically arranged LED lights in the dummy air inlets are exclusive to the performance model, and so is the glossy black grille. LED matrix headlights come as standard, along with fancy LED taillights featuring a 3D effect. Seen here is the ID.4 GTX finished with new metallic King's red paint, while the red accents on the inside send out a strong GTI vibe. As it makes sense on the range-topping version, it's well equipped with a heated steering wheel, 30-color LED ambient lighting, individually adjustable front armrests, and foldable rear seats. There are plenty of optional packages available, adding goodies like a head-up display with augmented reality and an upgraded 12-inch infotainment replacing the standard 10-inch screen.